Hello and selamat datang and welcome to today's video where I have different options that I've somehow managed to form. So they are dumplings, but let's see in the taste test. Yeah, I have two different types here. I don't know if you can see it, but let's get to it. So let's introduce the stuffing or the dumpling filling that we have today. I've just cooked up a whole bunch of mushrooms, white mushrooms today. And then I've chopped some spinach, celery, and carrots. And they're all combined today. So I have a vegetarian version one here for my wife. And I'm making one with some smoked bacon. Then I'm also going to chop and put it into the chopper here. So this is the non-vegetarian version for the kids. And let's get into it. So I'm going to go start. I'm getting my pan warmed up. I'm just going to lay out some dough. Not dough filling. And we're just going to start first straight away with the Phyllo dough one. And this time around, as you can see, I've made the filling myself, so I'm hoping it'll stick properly. But yeah, let's see what happens. I don't believe stickiness should now with this be a problem, but yeah, who knows, we could get surprised. So I'm just going to lay this out, and then I'm just going to go quickly to get my Phyllo dough that I have on the other table laid out, and I'm just going to grab it and I'm just going to lay it now. So medium fire, I'm just going to lay it like so, and we're just going to go with this. Deciding if I should put water in it later, but we will see. Maybe I need a bit more dough, filling here. But I've got this one here, just going with that. And lastly, I've got some dried out bits. Yeah, the trick with the issue with Phyllo dough is mainly keeping it moist, especially once you have already aired it out. But if you keep the Phyllo dough in the fridge, somehow it lasts. This has been around for almost 2 weeks now. But yeah, let's go. So, roughly 6-7 minutes of cooking. I'm just going to take out the steam so it doesn't drip all over the place. And you can see the familiar results, similar to our trial or proof of concept, if you like, the last time. Yeah, I'm still not getting significant adherence. Yeah, I mean, you see it burned out the bottom more than it stuck to the Phyllo dough. So with this option or with this, I think adherence is still kind of an issue. But yeah, I mean, yeah, you kind of have to adjust your expectations, I guess. I mean, this is the main thing with Phyllo dough. And if you like all of these options, it's all about dough expectations, I think, somehow. But it's okay. I'm going to test a couple more options apart from this. But this is the first one done, and I just wanted to show it to you before we move on to the next options, or the next couple of options, which are obviously on the more, I don't know, is it called idealistic side or crazy side? Let's come to it, and let's just jump. So let's go ahead with the vegetarian option and jump straight into our first test. So this is with potato starch, and I'm just going to take a bunch of this. Hopefully it sticks reasonably well. It doesn't stick or bind that well. I'm curious whether I should use a binder, but there's a reason why I'm not going with a binder, and it mainly has to do with the fact that even with this option, you see that it's a lot of discussion whether you're making a meatball or is it still somehow calling it a dumpling is right. Yeah, and this is what I'm trying to avoid, and this is why I didn't put the starch in the filling itself. But adherence is an issue, and I'm wondering if I should add egg, which obviously doesn't then make this vegetarian. But yeah, I think as you roll it, it'll become stickier because of the dough mixing in the water anyway. So that's one option. I have some water on the side and that I'm going to also be able to be used, but I don't think it's necessary. So now that's thicker and maybe more meatbally, we can now properly roll it. So we're just going to roll it in the dough. This is again potato starch, yeah. So we're just rolling in the dough, and we're going to then try to double roll it. So I'm going to roll it. It's now in the dough. I'm going to make a double layer with it. And then I'm just going to lay it on my preheated pan, and I'm just keeping on warm, because I think why the pan stuck just now was more related to me starting from a cold start. If you saw, my pan was completely cold and I started it, and then I suspect that's the reason why the filling stuck a fair bit. And yeah, there's a fair bit of mixing involved for this, so I don't know if that's a good thing or not. But yeah, just to tell you and just to show you with this, yeah, I guess the filling choice is also important here. You could preempt this issue, of course, like I said, with putting the starch directly into the mixture. As I said, I'm 50-50 on that. But yeah, we will see. We have to end up doing it like that, because yeah, if I have to just roll it like that, then what's the difference if I have to put the flour in? Yeah, so we will see how we end up with that. But yeah, just to show you, I've got two with the non-vegetarian. I'm going to go with the vegetarian option. I'm going to go make some non-vegetarian, but basically we're just going to go with this, and I'll jump straight to the cooking part. Yeah, so let's get on. So the flour ones or starch ones are done. Time to introduce the challenger. This is mashed potato powder, and this is the flakes type, and I'm just going to do the same thing with it. Let's see if it sticks better. Again, as I said, I'm trying to avoid using flour in the starch, and this is mainly just because if you start using flour in the starch, then yeah, it's basically the point around, are you making dumplings or not? And yeah, going by this and feeling it, I suspect I may have to put flour in the starch, because as you can see, it's not adhering very well. So yeah, first thing to note is you need flour in your filling. So I'm just going to go fix that. Okay, so I've got starch in this mixture, and I've already made one, formed one. I've already gone back to moisten it with water, so I'm going with double dipping it. So you need to moisten it with water before you double dip, just to give it some adherence. And you can see it is sticking, although it is not as strong as the starch-based option on first glance. But if you give it time, it does work similar. But of course, I'm going to help it now by because I've already added starch to this. So we're just going to roll it around in the mashed potato powder. I'll just show you one that I'm going to do now. So one round with this, and then moisten it, and then second round. So you're basically double dipping it. Yeah, that's the general idea. So I'm trying to see if there's a more efficient way to do it, but I think that's kind of what we're doing it at now. So got it. Right, still not firm enough yet. Got it. Putting in water, or at least moistening my hands. You don't want to keep it long, as you can see, it dissolves in the water. So you just want it long enough to moisten it, just to get it adherent enough, so then you can start. Curious about the color though, because as you can see, it's more of a yellow hue. So I'm curious about that color. I need to roll out some meat options now. So I'm just going to do the same thing. And I'm just going to fast forward so I don't have to bore you with all of this stuff. But I'm doing the same for the meat. I'm just mixing in the starch now that I said I was going to put in. So I'm just doing that now. And I'm going to start making the same balls. I'm going to edit all these parts out. So that's what we're going to do. So let's make one. I must say, just from the feel of this, it starts off feeling very cross, like breadcrumbs. And eventually it does stick. I think the main point is the powder, the mashed potato powder, needs some liquid to activate. And of course, you've got plenty of liquid in the dumpling itself, so that's fine. But on first hand, as you saw just now, you need some help from the starch to help moisten or make the activating a bit faster. So that is maybe the one drawback of using mashed potato powder versus starch or potato starch. I know with a cornstarch it's also a possibility, but yeah, just wanted to show it. So I'm gonna go start this cooking while we do more of this. So maybe I have space for one more. I'm just going to go start cooking. I'm using the same approach, but I suspect if you're doing it like this, you can just steam it as well. That will work. For the starch option, I've from research and from what I've seen, it is possible if you roll it in enough starch to cook it in I don't want to say boiling water, but it's possible to boil it. But again, you're not really boiling. Similar to making fish balls, you will have to control the temperature of the water, because if it's too much, you basically dissolve all the flour and starch into the boiling liquid. So one point to note about doing that option. And then again, like what I said, it reopens the whole point around, are you making meatballs or are you making dumplings here? And yeah, I mean, with the starch option, at least I can say you have the weight of Korean culture behind you. You really don't have it for this mashed potato powder option. I don't think even Germans do it like this. But yeah, so I've got it done. I'm gonna let it cook while I go make a whole bunch more. So time to check on it. I had to add more water to steam it, because as you can see, if you don't steam it, it tends to do more pan frying, which means you then need to you then need to rotate them around, and I'm trying to avoid that. I don't know if you can see that, but yeah, that's precisely what I'm trying to avoid. So let's see how this goes. I'm trying to avoid drenching the starch, but you can see it is forming, and it's yeah. The starch based one, early observations that I can see, the starch based one looks more like a transparent coating, honestly, compared to the mashed potato one. And that's one interesting observation. So another interesting is I'm running out of potato starch, which means I will have to switch to cornstarch. So it will be interesting to seeing if there's any difference between both. Okay, so one positive thing, or at least positive point I've noticed about having to do this is that when you do it like this, you tend to give the bottom, and I don't know if you noticed just now, it generates a flour layer at the bottom, similar like a goatee style. Pot stickers, I mean, in case that's not familiar to you. But yeah, I would say these are cooked, and it will be interesting to see how it goes. And I'm just going to scoop it up and then make a new batch, and then I start bringing it to the judges and see what their reactions are. I'm trying to see if I can differentiate between the vegetarian ones and the non-vegetarian ones, to at least make sure that I don't mix everything up. But yeah, it's generally the point. I still have some parts where the flour is not fully I don't want to say cooked, but turned is maybe the right phrase. And maybe that's one advantage steaming or pure steaming will probably have versus this option, with temperature regulation at least. But you can see, at least for the meat versions, yeah, the starch ones seem to have done quite well. And actually, I don't know, just looking at these results, I'm more leaning towards the starch ones now, actually, which is an interesting finding for sure. Ooh, that's hot. But yeah, let's see where we end up. I'm going to cook up a bunch, and then we will see what we end up with. Yeah, so let's just stick for that and then come out to that. So I just wanted to show you, while I'm still cooking this batch, that this is a version with the phyllo dough, and if you let it cook longer, leave it alone, make sure there's enough water, it actually set quite well. And assuming that you fix the stickiness, so the stickiness problem is actually related to the filling. So when you fix it by adding starch, it adheres really well, and look at the result. I mean, phyllo dough somehow stands out as well as a good option. And this has been eaten before, and it gives you a quality balance. So you get the crispy, you get the steamed texture. And to me, this works. Now let's see how the judgment goes for the rest. So, how do we conclude? Generally, the judges had a split decision. Surprisingly, the starch ones, starch dumplings, did reasonably well. It again depends on your preference. If you like a traditional kind of texture, especially with the crunchiness, phyllo dough does that great for you. Yeah. Just with phyllo dough, you need to make sure that the filling can adhere, and that's it. And then for the other options, this I was surprised because yes, they feel more like a bally type of meatball type of option, but there is interest for it. So I was quite surprised. So maybe this is not the end of those options yet. In a classic scenario, for sure, and in terms of speed, in terms of results, Filio wins down. Yeah, hands down, for sure. But yeah, so let's see where we end up and what other loony ideas I come up with. But in the meantime, like, subscribe, comment, or hate. Yeah, whichever floats your boat. See you, and thanks for watching as always.